I should probably fucking turn down the audio of the game so it's more my voice because different type of video today. I wanted to talk about my experience with death throughout my life. Because I'm 23 years old and I think I've dealt with more death than a lot of people my age. I don't want this to be like a oh, sad, woe is me type video. This guy lost both of his fucking parents. Oh, he's just looking for attention. Because the problem which I have had during this time was like mostly guilt, the way I felt about things. And this video is kind of there for the people that might be going through the things I have been going through as well, and maybe to bring them comfort. Like, it's okay to feel how you feel and stuff, because even though people were telling me in my life, like, oh, it's okay, I didn't feel like it was okay. I was very, you know, skeptical about it, I guess. I'm just playing some arcade for neuron activation rudder turn while I talk about shit. Keep the viewer attention up, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you're chilling. Go spawn camp, my friends. Smile. Okay, starting from the very beginning. I think my first experience with death was my grandfather. He died of colon cancer when I was very young. I didn't really understand the gravity of the situation, I guess, at first, because like I was really afraid of it. I didn't really know what was going on. I kind of knew what was going on. I don't remember very well. I was really young, but like my grandpa was in the hospital a lot getting surgery. Then he was what would happen like near the end of his life, I think he was out in the living room or by the TV room in like bedridden. And I was scared, so I was in the other room like playing with cars when I went to his house, because we visited him a lot, but I was afraid to talk to them. And my parents and my grandmother, they respected like that. I was scared, and they didn't want to push me out of my comfort zone, I guess, which was their decision. I feel like if I was in their position, maybe I would push a little harder, but I wouldn't do it too hard. I mean, I was only like fucking 9, 10 years old. Maybe I don't really remember actually when he died. I was really young, but at the very end, the day he died, I think, my parents, everyone, they knew that it was time for me to talk to my grandpa finally, and I did. I'm like fucking autistic, clueless retard, and at first I was like, oh, I wish like we could spend one more holiday together, like one more Christmas, one more birthday or whatever. But then they were like, no, 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 and I'm like, okay, go with the angels, Grandpa. I was fucking retarded. I didn't understand. But I said my goodbye, not the best goodbye, but a goodbye. And I think 3 hours after that happened, after we all said our goodbyes, that's when he decided to leave. And yeah, that was that story. Fuck. I haven't cried about my grandpa in like fucking a decade, and here I go again. When I don't remember how exactly I felt after the fact. I think I was really sad. I missed him, obviously. And but it wasn't like constant feelings of pain. I mean, I was a little kid, like surely like a lot of the things I would bring up, like, oh, he's not here for this holiday. Oh, I don't get to ride in his car. I don't get to like whatever. It would like things in my life that would remind me of him would pop up, I guess, and then I would think about it. But mostly throughout my life, like I was like sad, but then like I wasn't really sad. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like really fuzzy memory, but whatever. Bro, fucking AI gunners are so stupid. Dude, fuck off. I'm trying to spawn camp your teammates while talking about death. Whatever. I suck. But that was like number one. We had a funeral for him and everything, and everyone was there. Um, yeah. Fuck. I don't know how to talk. I don't know. I don't have enough memory to talk about this. I'm just gonna move on to number two. The next person I experienced was my father. This was in 2016. He got pancreatic cancer, and he was living with the cancer for a long time, and he was doing fine. My dad is the strongest person I've ever known in my life. He is absolutely goated at everything he does. Paramount cinematographer, great basketball player. I get my competitive spirit from him, I think, and all that. I would say I'm like, I'm a lot like my father, but out of shape because I play video games instead of play basketball. But we share the same competitive nature. I don't think he understand it when I started playing video games, because this was back in when I was just starting to play, and he just thought of video games as like a waste of time and all that, and turn me into a school shooter and whatnot, probably because I played Counter-Strike at the time and I was getting really competitive, yelling, but whatever. But where was I? Probably talking about death and stuff about my father. What happened with him was he was living with the cancer and he was doing great, and he was surviving. But the problem which happened was that he wanted to get cancer free, obviously, like any cancer patient would, to start living their life again, not having to have chemotherapy and all this treatment get in the way of what he wanted to do, like basketball, getting back to work, cinematography, because he really enjoyed his job and he was really good at it. And all he wanted to do was live, and all of us would, but he couldn't because of the cancer. Shocker, cancer gets in the way of your life. Who would have thought? Bro, please let me reverse you easily, so I gotta lock in real quick. Gotta hit the montage, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fucking rudder turning. That thing's a UFO, for fuck's sake. But so to get rid of his cancer, that would have been sick. The doctor recommended him a certain drug, and that would help him. He was tested for it, and I need to get away from these fucking idiots. You know what? I'm just gonna respond. This is bullshit. And he took the drug, to help him and stuff. But the problem was, Dad, he grew up with asthma, and it was not really an issue with him later on in life, but he never had any asthma attacks or anything as an adult. But this drug, one of the side effects was something that had to do with the lungs, and because he had asthma, that completely destroyed him, and that's what ended up killing him in the end. It wasn't the cancer that killed him, it was the drug that was used to treat it, which sucks. Everyone makes mistakes. I don't blame the doctors or anything. They thought it would be fine, but I'm pretty sure the drug now is not in circulation anymore for fucking obvious reasons. But the way I felt about this is the part I guess I wanted to talk about. I don't know why it took so long to get here. I guess I want to bring some backstory to it, but I was in complete denial. I was like, oh yeah, Dad's gonna be fine. He's the strongest person I know. Nothing can stop him. And I was just assuming that everything would get better because I am the main fucking character and whatnot. The world revolves around me. Just nothing bad could happen to me because I am me. But no, that's not true, because I am in fact not the fucking main character. And so when I realized, when I remember seeing him in the hospital, even with I remember when he was on his deathbed, just wires everywhere. He's not responsive at all. I'm assuming he can hear me, but I don't know if that's true or not. I no, he did. He was conscious towards the end. I remember like uh, during his weakest time, like the doctor was like, "Hey, we might need to do surgery." Dad was like, "Yeah, yeah, give me the fucking surgery," but not able to talk, like nodding his head. My mom was like, "No, look at him. He's fucking like, you know, dead almost." I don't know how to describe it. He was really weak, and he probably wouldn't survive the surgery. And mom didn't want any discomfort. I feel like, because dad, he was the type of guy who would, um, why am I going on this tangent? I'm gonna go back to how I feel. Actually, no. Like dad was like a warrior. He did not care any about the discomfort or whatever. He just wanted to get better, no matter what cost. But back to how I felt. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. He's gonna be okay. I visited him on his deathbed. Whatever. Fucking traumatic memory. But I remember like my goodbye to him was not really sincere, I guess. Like a see you later instead of like a final goodbye. But you know, I was also young at the time. I was 15. I'm like retarded, so I didn't really understand, I guess. So, um, but like one of the thing about dad was like he was like our hero. He didn't want us to be there when he was at his weakest. He wanted to remain alone with mom until he got better so he can show his kids, me and my sister, his strong side. So he did not want me to visit him in the hospital or anything. And my mom, she respected his wishes, which is the right thing to do. I was mad about it at first because the day he died, I wanted to see him in the hospital, despite him not wanting me to see him. So I told my mom to wake me up in the morning so I can go see him. But mom, obviously, she did not wake me up because she was respecting dad's wishes, which is the right thing to do. And yeah, and you know, I'm in denial. I didn't think he was gonna die or anything. I just wanted to see him. And so mom goes. Uh, my aunt is with me and my sister taking care of us that day. And then I think like 8, 9 o'clock at night, mom comes back home and brings the news that dad passed away. And in that moment, because I was in denial, it was just pure shock. Just like, did that just actually just happen? Like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm just sitting there on the couch with my aunt and my sister, and my mouth is wide open. I'm just staring into oblivion, trying to fucking figure out what happened. And my aunt, she comes and hugs me tight for as long as I can remember. And I'm just sitting there, not able to believe what fucking happened. Holy fuck, 9 kills, I'm dog shit. And I remember that night, just literally staring at the wall until like 3, 4 in the morning in the exact same spot at a shelf, which is just where my eyes were at the time. Just thinking, I'm never gonna see him again. I'm never gonna see him again. What the fuck just happened? That's fucked up, you know? And that was the first death that was really fucking hard for me. It affected my schooling. I remember I went back to school, and all my teachers were telling me, I'm sorry for your loss. If there's anything we can do, let me know. And I'm just sitting there like, you know, when I'll do something, fucking bring him back to life, bro. Like, fuck. I, yeah, that totally like, you know, derailed me. But eventually, like, you know, I get through it as you do with everything. But I guess there's nothing I really could have done better because I didn't know. But like the type of when you're in denial, the death becomes more shocking, which is one I want to get to next, like suicide. I've lost 2 friends that I've had online, both of them through Counter-Strike. I've lost them to suicide. The first person, I didn't know what happened to him until I think his little brother got access to his Steam account and was messaging all his friends that he killed himself. And then that brought in like I was sad obviously, but he's an online friend. He wasn't, it didn't hurt like dad did. But I remember there was another friend who I lost to suicide, the second person. This happened freshman year of college. And I knew there was things that were wrong, and I was trying my very hardest to get him to get help. But his mind was made up, and I felt guilty that I didn't save him, but there was nothing I could have done, especially being an online friend. I'm not like physically there to help in any possible way. So like suicide is different in my opinion. Like the first one I didn't know, so it shocked me when it happened, but I wouldn't say I grieved as much the second person, because like I felt like I could have done something which I couldn't have. I felt so guilty. Like I felt like for some reason there was blood on my hands, even though that's completely like illogical. So yeah, the guilt was the big thing. I felt guilty when dad died too, in a different way, because I felt like I could have been a better son. Like, did cancer is caused by stress? Is me playing video games caused by stress directly related to his death? Like those like intrusive thoughts. Like I felt like I killed my dad just because I played video games, because I like playing video games, which is completely fucking irrelevant. Because dad, his only side that I think was a weakness was he would get angry, especially the video game, because I wanted to play. He didn't let me play, so I played anyways. That would stress him out. But I was definitely an addict. I let it get in the way of school and shit. Cause yeah, it could have been, knowing what I know now, like, if I could read the future, I would have asked him, hey, if I get all my work done, get good grades, can I like play video games at night, smile? He probably understood it, but I just snuck it anyway, because I felt like there's no option. Why is there, I'm so fucked, holy shit. But yeah, the intrusive thoughts are natural. I'll get to more of that later. So, if you feel guilty, that is completely fine. Everyone feels guilty. And yeah, I'm so dead. But you're so bad, but I'm so dead. But you're fucking trash. Winnable? I'm gonna die. If I don't die to this guy, I'm dying to the rest of their team. Anyway, I want to multitask. What happened recently is this happened in May. My mom passed away. She had a stroke, a hemorrhage stroke. I was at school in March when I got the news that she got a stroke, so I immediately came back to not only help my sister, take care of her, but to be there with mom. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but this is the most recent. Like, I definitely, this time, being more experienced with death, I knew that it was a possibility. Like, there's a real chance that I can lose my mom, just like a few years after I lose dad. But I did my best. I held my head up high, hope for the best, hope for the best, but prepared for the worst. And went home, took care of her, tried to guide my sister on taking care of stuff, because we have a family business. Was our income, so keep doing that while mom is in the hospital recovering. But mom was recovering and all that. We were very hopeful. I was doing all the next steps, like, we're gonna bring her, because the only problem when she got conscious back was her brain was a little fuzzy, because you had a fucking stroke, a hemorrhage stroke, which is like the worst one. And because like the thing about her was that she was very confused. She thought she was fine. Like, I remember when she woke up, she couldn't talk because she had a ventilator and she couldn't breathe on her own yet. But when they took off the ventilator and she can finally talk because she was able to breathe on her own for a little bit, all she was telling me is, "I'm okay. Take me home. Get the car and bring me home." And I remember her reaching out for my hand, like I thought she was she was wanting to hold my hand, but she started trying to hoist herself up out of the bed, and all that, and I thought I was like disturbed, but I also found it hilarious for some reason because it's like, Mom, this is not my mom. Like, my mom was the most rational person ever, and now she's like so fucking confused. It was heartbreaking and also hilarious. I don't know why, but I don't think hilarious is actually the right word. It was just like, what is going on? I guess. There's no script. I'm just fucking saying words, so not everything's gonna be perfect. Whatever. But yeah, but she was recovering. She was getting stronger, but she hated the fucking hospital. Like, everyone hates the hospital, and she's just stuck there, you know. And I was trying my best. Like, okay, Mom, like, I visit her every day, and I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. Like, listen to her, talk to her about where we're at and stuff. But the problem was that whenever we would make fucking headway, because the main thing was her breathing, then she would get like pneumonia, and then she had to put the respirator back on and stuff. Probably caused by the respirator, because there's only like if you have a respirator for that long, there's bacteria is gonna get in. Like, there's no like, yeah, when you're sick, you're sick. Like, if there was like a perfect way, you know, they do the best they could. But you know, it is what it is. They tried their best, but Mom was getting stronger though. I noticed that, but like but the tragic thing about her getting stronger was, she was so adamant on getting out of bed and getting out of the hospital and getting out of there, that she would like really try to get up all the time. So the nurses had to put on restraints on her bed, and I would visit her. I would take them off, but then when I have to go, I would have to put it back on, and Mom, like, fighting my sick mom to put the restraints back on when I had to go. And that was like the worst thing ever, because I remember, like, Mother's Day was when she was in the hospital. I'm like tying down my mom to a hospital bed on fucking Mother's Day. Like, that will forever fucking haunt me. That's the worst thing ever. It's so bad. My sick mom, my beautiful mom, I'm tying her to the fucking hospital bed. Like, fuck. But you know, I was trying to do the best I could. That's all I could have done. But yeah, sucks. But she was getting better, so I was just trying to hold out until she was better, so we can laugh about it later and be like, that was fucked up, but it's in the past. But unfortunately, one day, this was a Monday. Mondays. I think, wait, was it a Monday? I don't remember. No, it was a Sunday. I don't know, whatever. Mom had a visitor that day. She went unresponsive in her bed, and the doctors didn't know what happened. But what happened was that she had a second stroke. And they didn't know that at first, so they brought her up to the ICU. They were doing tests on the computers with a thing on her head measuring the brain waves, but they couldn't finish the test because the laptop would go on fucking sleep mode, and then like up because it was on power saving mode or whatever. It would shut off after a fucking hour, which is retarded, but it is what it is. This is not like, this was the second hospital she was at. The first one was the one that she went to the ER with, and then the second one was a recovery step. It was Barlow Respiratory Hospital next to Dodger Stadium. And yeah, she was there for getting her breathing again. And they didn't know. They couldn't know. They didn't have there was a respiratory hospital for recovery. It wasn't a fucking hospital that does surgery or anything. They didn't know. They didn't have the equipment. They couldn't have known. But then eventually when they found out, shit, like, we can't really do anything with her, they transferred her to another emergency room. This was, I'm blank now on the name. It was a hospital in Glendale. Adventist Hospital or whatever the fuck it's called. And that was a great hospital. She went to the ER, they figured out what happened. She got surgery and stuff for the hemorrhage stroke, but it was too late. The hemorrhage stroke completely destroyed her brainstem. And that's it. Once that's gone, you're gone. She was basically reverted to factory settings, like poke or cause any pain, she would shrug in her shoulders to protect her core, which is like a very primal response. It wasn't she was gone. No more human activity left. It was all fucked. At first I was trying to, just think positive, but the doctors, after a couple days there, they broke the news that it's over. And yeah, I guess because like the way I felt about this was I knew there was a risk. I knew that this could happen, so I think it kind of softened the blow by letting the emotion spread out over some time. I was very sad at first, but yeah, we brought her to hospice and made sure she was comfortable. She was on she was constantly getting injected with morphine, so she wouldn't go in any pain. Even though she, her brainstem's gone, she's gone. It's not like she had full pain anyway. It's just the body. But we just wanted to make sure, and after she was unhooked from all the machines and on the morphine drip, she lasted for 11 hours. No, 23 hours, actually. And then she left. Spent the night with her at the hospital. Held her hand for fucking hours. And as soon as I let go of her hand, she left. I went to scroll my fucking phone at a meme, and that's when she went. When she left, the immediate thought was, why wasn't I holding her hand when she went? Didn't want her to feel alone if she was in there still. So I felt guilty, but part of me wants to think that she was waiting for me to let go. Which brings me peace. I mean, this is after months and months of thinking about it. Like, the thing about it at first, at the very beginning, as soon as she passed, I left the room, walked down the hallway, went outside, went on my phone, and messaged everyone that she left. And that's the only tears I shed until a month later. I think I was in shock for about a month because I did not cry at all. I didn't feel anything. And that's the problem. This is the big reason why I wanted to make the video. Was I felt so I was like, why did I not love my mom? Why am I not crying? Why am I not crying? Like, if you guys seen the series about the alternate history series where Russia won the fucking moon race, and then we had a whole fucking other. I'm blanking on the name of the series, but one thing that happened was a mother of the wife of an astronaut who lost her kid. She went through a whole thing of I must have the funeral, this and that, blah blah blah, gotta get shit done. That's how I was. I didn't shed a tear. I was trying to get everything done, gotta get mom cremated and stuff, gotta take care of all the finances, gotta take care of everything, because that's what mom would have wanted, for me to take care of all this shit if she went. And I think it was just pure fucking shock that drove me to do all this shit. I didn't feel a thing, and that's what That's where all my guilt came from. Um, and then a month goes by and I still haven't cried at all. But the thing which happened was I started like the thing that brought me to tears eventually, which was a good thing. Like crying sucks, but it makes me feel good afterwards, and that's why I wanted to cry. It was music that brought me, like, of course, like War Thunder Montage, Autistic Head Ass, like, of course, music. That's how I express all my emotion, basically. And, you know, the song that made me cry was Anthem of the Angels by Breaking Benjamin. That song destroyed me in a good way. And yeah, so, you know, it all works out in the end, kinda. Everyone deals with death differently. Like, I have dealt with death a whole bunch for my age, and it was all different. It never gets easier. Like, one thing which I wanted to say in this video is, I thought, like, oh, you know, I've lost a bunch of people, maybe dealing with death gets easier, like, you know, because I'm experienced in it, kind of. But it does not get easier. It is different every time. It's, yeah, never underestimate death. It's so different from any other emotion. And yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, do that. I could, yeah, I don't know. Fucking, who the fuck cares? Like, whatever. I guess that's about it. Whatever.